Giving your man space, time away from you, is actually really good for you on a few different levels. And don't take it personally, and don't get insecure, and don't feel like he's rejecting you. He just needs to sort out what he's feeling or what he's thinking. And it's usually good for you for him to marry his thoughts and his feelings and decide that he really wants to spend more time with you. So give him the space to do that. Welcome to my Broken to Brave podcast. I'm Donna Barnes. And today I want to talk to you about why it's so important for your man to be able to get away from you a little bit, right? Because men, right-handed men particularly, think or feel. They can't think and feel at the same time. As women, we can think and feel at the same time, and left-handed men can as well. So ladies, if you have a left-handed man, that's a good thing, right? Not to say that right-handed men are not good, but seriously, I think the problem with, look, as women, we can be in the moment and thinking and feeling how wonderful something is and how good something is, and then really be immersed in the moment. And look, this is why a lot of one night stands happen, right? Because a woman can be in the moment and thinking and feeling, yeah, this is a great guy. And yes, I really feel chemically attracted to him, and this is all working and this is good. But the man is in his feeling brain, right? If you're now having a good time and you're really connecting, he's feeling, and he's feeling attracted to you, and you have great chemistry. And then that's now why you hook up. But now the next day, he's going to switch into his thinking brain, and he may or may not be interested enough in getting to know you further, right? Because he got the payout of, I hate to say it that way, but men think that way sometimes, right? So yeah, if you're in a relationship and your guy needs space, maybe he wants to go out with the boys for a night, or maybe he really just wants to be by himself for a night. And unfortunately, look, I've been coaching people for a long time. I've had a lot of men tell me that they actually lie to their partner about doing something else because they really just want a night to sit home by themselves and be by it themselves. And that's exactly my point. You need to allow your man to have space and time by himself so that he can switch into his thinking brain and think that you're good for him. And the longer you can delay bringing sex into a relationship, I think the more likely you are to see him again after you have brought sex into it. It can actually take a man up to 8 weeks with no contact with you to decide that, yeah, he really wants the relationship and he's coming back and he's got a fresh perspective on it, right? Because he's had time to mix his thoughts and feelings. And it usually doesn't take 8 weeks, but it can take up to 8 weeks. So if you're really connected with somebody and then they totally stepped back, but you felt like it was really good there and it didn't blow up in some really horrible way, give your man that space. And if it's meant to be, he might still be thinking about you. He might be processing. He might be trying to feel his feelings and think his thoughts while away from you. So give him the space to do that and stay empowered. Keep taking care of your own needs and living your own life and doing things that you need to do for you. And don't reach out to him. Let him reach out to you when he's ready. If it's meant to be, he will reach out to you. It actually can take up to 8 weeks that you have no contact with him at all, and he's still thinking about you and deciding, really, if he wants to see you again or not. If you interrupt that space, first of all, you could change what the outcome would have been, but you also then could take it back to the beginning of him needing now that space to figure these things out for himself. So just something to think about. If you really like somebody who's not fully participating or has disappeared a little bit, let him go. And you might just be surprised that when he thinks and feels and processes, he feels differently in a really good way. There's nothing that you can do to speed that up, but there is things that you could do to sabotage that. So if your man is stepping back and not reaching out to you, give him the space to do that. And you just might be pleasantly surprised that he is still very interested. So if you can really think about the fact that it's really two different personalities, and look, men get crap for that, right? That they're two different people, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? But there's an actual neurological reason for that. Their brain isn't capable of thinking and feeling at the same time. They need to go away to either feel their feelings or think, right? So giving your man the time to go away and really giving your man the permission to just be honest with you and say, hey, I really just kind of need a night to myself, and not taking that personally and not feeling badly about the fact that he just needs to be by himself. It's actually really good for you that he wants to be by himself so he can now process everything that you're feeling. I mean, look, honestly, an example of that, years ago, I had really connected with a guy, and we were on vacation together, and we were out on the tennis court with another couple, and he tore his calf muscle. And I rushed him to the doctor, and I really cared about this guy. And I just was really being very loving and taking care of him. And I drew a bath for him and, got him, hydrated and whatever it was that he wanted. And then, he was all in the bathtub, and I said, is there anything else I can do for you? And he was like, yeah, honestly, I just need to be by myself for a bit. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, right? And closed the door and went and, hung out with his friends and let him just have his time. And later that night, he said to me, I just really needed to process and take in. You were so loving to me. And he needed time to really process that. And that was really one of the more loving relationships I was ever in. And that's exactly my point. If I had gotten insecure of what are you rejecting me now, that you don't want me for anything now? You don't need me for anything now? That's how miscommunication starts. And now the guy feels bad that he just wanted time to himself. When if you were empowered and just gave him that time to himself, you'd be moving the relationship forward. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I think we're all insecure on some level. And if we really like somebody and now it's feeling like they're rejecting us because they want some personal space, I'd like to put a new thought in your head that that's actually helpful to you. If things are going well and he needs some time to process his feelings, give him that space, because that's when he's going to decide whether you're actually good for him or not. Especially if there's something that's been going on within your relationship. If maybe there's been some change in feelings or attitudes, or you've been arguing a little bit, or something just happened. Maybe you had your first argument. Anything that's different that just happened, your man is going to need to process differently than you do. And giving him the opportunity and the space without you being needy or insecure about it is going to be really helpful. If your guy really cares about you, it's going to be good for him to process those feelings and marry his thoughts with his feelings, and then be able to move forward confidently thinking and feeling, right? So I really can't impress to you enough how important it is for a man to get the space to process what he's thinking or feeling so that he can be more present going forward with you. And if you can think of it like that, then it shouldn't make you insecure if your guy says, hey, I just need a night to myself. And give him the opportunity to be honest that he just wants a night to himself, instead of having to make up an excuse of something else that he wants to do because he just needs a night to himself. I mean, we all need nights to ourselves, I think, right? It's healthy. If you have your own life, you've got enough going on, you've got your own things to do, and you guys got things to do, perfect. Now you both have time to do the things that you want to do. I really do think relationships are best when you both have your own lives, but choose to spend your lives and time together. And I've also always said, if you spend all of your time with somebody, what do you talk about, right? If you're together all the time, you've experienced all the same things. What are you going to talk about? You can only talk about so much that you've equally shared, right? So I think it's helpful to have lives of your own and choose when you want to come together so you have things to share and to talk about. And, ideally you do those things with each other too sometimes too, Britt. But I'm just saying, in a healthy relationship, you shouldn't be codependent and constantly enmeshed with each other and spending all of your time together, because that's definitely not helpful to a man. Even if he's codependent, he still, if he's right-handed, can't think and feel at the same time. and needs to have that alone time by himself to process what he is feeling. And if you can give that to him, you'll actually make your relationship better. I am available for personal coaching if you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, or I can give you some insight into what is actually going on with your guy or your girl. I've been coaching people for 18 years now, so I've gotten really good at identifying issues and potential problems, whether that's something you're doing to sabotage your relationship, or if perhaps you're not seeing something that your partner is doing in your relationship. There's a link in the description below that you can find to learn about coaching with me. So thanks for listening, and I will see you in my next episode. I always look forward to reading your comments or any questions that you have that I could make another video about something that you want to hear about. Thanks for watching.